the invitation. I'm really very honored to be here to talk to you all today. When Dr. Henrich asked me to speak, he said I'm supposed to convey to you why I'm passionate about what I do in 6 minutes. And that's hard because I think for all of us, our day-to-days vary a lot. There are days like today where I'm downtown at an HIV clinic taking care of patients. Yesterday I was teaching and mentoring students in the Masters in Public Health and MD Combined program. Most days I'm doing research, I administrate, and I really love what I do, but that doesn't tell you anything about what I do. And my 7-year-old is always like, Mommy, what do you do? So I thought if it's all right, I would tell you all a story about a patient who sort of is the reason that I do what I do. His name's, I'm going to call him Robert. And I first met him, and I didn't like him, which was not exactly fair to Robert because I didn't like him even before I had met him. And it's because I was sent to the intensive care unit to meet him, and I was told, you have to go sort this person out. He's going to be your clinic patient, and he was just diagnosed with HIV, but he won't tell his fiance. So, yeah. So there are a lot of reasons to not tell your fiance that you've just been diagnosed with HIV, and many of them are not good ones. So I walked into the intensive care unit not already a big fan of Robert. And I find him, and he's the only person in the entire ICU who's not in a ventilator, so he can actually talk to me, which is good. And he's this young, very frail man surrounded by a sea of IV poles and warming blankets and all those mysterious machines that go ding in the intensive care unit. And I reach out my hand to shake his hand and introduce myself, and my hand is cold already, as some of y'all know, from the hand sanitizer. But when he takes my hand, his hand is so cold because his blood pressure is so low that it actually shocks me and I kind of jerk back. And I watch Robert wince at my reaction to him. I'm going to be your doctor when you get out of the ICU and you're in the HIV clinic. And I watch him wince again as I say HIV. And so I decided to just get it over with. I'm here for really one reason, to introduce myself and to convince him to tell his fiance. And I said, look, I know that you've just been diagnosed and that this is very difficult, but it's really important for you to tell the people you care about your diagnosis. It'll help them support you, and anybody who you've been with in the last probably 10 years needs to know so they can be tested and treated if they need it. And he looks at me and says, I can't tell my fiance. And there's this long pause while I wait for all of his excuses, all the reasons it's not convenient to tell her, this is why he can't tell her, that's what's going on. And then he looks at me and says, I know I have to tell her. I don't know if I can tell her today. Because, you see, I'm the one who pays her tuition for school. I'm the one who takes care of her. And if I die, how's she going to go to school? Who's going to pay her tuition? And he looks up at me as if I have the answer to this absolutely unanswerable question. And all of my assumptions about Robert and why he doesn't want to tell his fiance go away. Also, all my, I'm in the ICU and it's 9 at night, and blah, 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 that also goes away. As I stand there and I think about what it would be like for me to have to go home and tell my spouse that I just got diagnosed with HIV. And so I look at Robert and I say, you're not going to die. Which is not what you were supposed to tell someone who you just met, who's in the intensive care unit, who is, actively dying right at that moment. And so for the next several months, Robert and I work really hard on him not dying. He tells his fiance the very next day, and he starts on treatment, and his body is just like his body has given up on him. He weighs 80 pounds, he loses all his hair, he takes mountains of pills and he throws them up and he takes them again. And through the whole time, his fiancée is there by his side, supporting him, helping him take his meds. And he starts to get better. And then one day, about 2 months later, he comes into clinic and he looks like death again. All of his symptoms have returned and he can barely walk. And I draw his blood in the clinic and send it off stat. And I pace in the hallway until it comes back, and it comes back and his potassium is 2. So for those of you medical people in the audience, you know a potassium of 2, your heart is not actually supposed to beat if your potassium is 2. So then I have to go back in and tell Robert and his fiancée that he's headed back to the intensive care unit. And I feel like such a failure. And they know me pretty well by now, and so they can tell how worried I am. And I feel like a failure because these days, one should not be dying of AIDS. The last 20 years have been a biomedical miracle as far as HIV treatment. I can now give patients in my clinic this morning 1 pill once a day, and they will live a normal life. Partially in response to research done by all of us, including people at UT Health San Antonio, I'm proud to say. And so watching Robert be this ill feels like a personal failure, particularly because my own research is actually in helping people come to care and engage in care and live long and healthy lives with their HIV. I work on getting people into care. I work on helping them take care of their cardiovascular comorbidities while they're on care. And all of that is sort of embodied in Robert. So why don't people come to care? People don't come to care for a lot of the assumptions that I had when I walked into Robert's room. People don't come to care because of stigma. People don't come to care because they're terrified of the diagnosis. People don't come to care because they don't have access to care. And so as I sit there and I hold Robert's fiance's hand and I convey this news, I feel like I've let him down profoundly. Because here is this man who is not diagnosed in time, who can't benefit from the amazing advances in HIV. But I'm happy to say that he's all right. And I know this because I recently got to dance at his wedding to the fiance, who is now a certified medical attendant and finished school. And when I was standing there and watching them exchange rings, and Robert, in full disclosure, is now actually a little bit overweight. I was just watching them with tears pouring down their faces, and I'm thinking, this is it. This is why I do what I do. I'm so honored that you all are here and that you help us do the things that we struggle to do every day to give better lives to our patients. Thank you.